That's an obvious
What's this,
part.
by the way?
Oh, this is just this is the video.
Oh, you shat
But
on your screen. What is this?
well, you talked so much, I kind of forgot what I was gonna say. But here's what I meant by we're basically saying the same thing because I split it into 70% connection content, which your lead content, whatever you called it. If in
Magnet.
reality, yeah, it's the same thing as connection content because connection content doesn't purely mean building connections with people. It means
It's
attracting
not
people.
though. It's not because you've got niche connection and you've got generalized connection. Niche
Which you're
connection.
you're not going for general connection because you're still
Yes, you
staying in
you
your
need to
niche.
bring in some kind of volume into the middle of your funnel. You've got no ads.
Look, let me just break down what I'm thinking, right?
Okay.
Because wait, I'll just move this. Look, top at the top you have your connection videos. These are
Hold
lifestyle.
on. Just one second before you carry on. How do you change the colors of your pen? Because I've not been able to do that on my row. Oh shit! Sorry, carry on.
All right. So at the top you have your connection content, right? That's basically your lifestyle videos, your mindset videos, breaking down concepts, showing like something exciting happening, for example, sales, whatever, right? Just basic stuff showing like who you are behind all this business stuff, like stuff you enjoy and stuff like that. This attracts people, right? Now, whether you do it at the style I showed you or you do
Wait
like
one second. Just wait one second. Wait one second.
whether you do it with the style I showed you or you take like break down like viral videos and recreate it in your own format, like you mentioned for the magnet content, it all falls down into this stuff, which is your top of the funnel to attract people, right?
Mhm.
And then once they land here, the main factor is your actual profile, right? Like you have your stuff here, right? Jesus. Okay. When they see
But the
these videos, they
connection's
go,
still organic.
of course, yeah. But look,
So
you're
how do you make it
look,
niche related while bringing volume in?
you stay you stay business related within these videos. You're not just saying like I'm going on a walk with my homeboy. I mean, of course you can, but you got to make it sales related in a way. Like Siggy with that one video, that like Tinder thing.
Mm.
He made it sales related because he said he's using sales tactics on the girls, right? That that attracts like people who are interested in sales because the algorithm now watches your video itself, right? The stuff you talk about, the keywords you use, everything like that. So the connection content brings in people. They land on your profile, and as long as you have it optimized, you have your results, you have your social proof, your actual service itself, some lifestyle stuff, whatever. Like however you structure these, it doesn't really matter because all you're doing is you're building social proof, right? Authority and social proof. And you have your pin posts, for example, like a case study,
And
your
authority
serve.
as well. It doesn't for like for people who don't have results, it comes from their own ideation, doesn't it? Their own
Yeah,
views.
your pin posts do basically the same thing as here, just in a longer version or whatever. Um, And then of course here, now I can actually use the color since you complain. You have your link, which is your YouTube channel, right? So as long as your profile is optimized and people get interested from watching your stuff, that link brings them to your YouTube, where you have your nurture assets, which are your niche specific like problem solving videos. So you have really like niche down, like where you mentioned like building out who you want to work with, your positioning, like understanding who your ideal client actually is and what they struggle with. When you do that, you have the ability to create your YouTube videos. For the Josh guy I worked with, I kind of broke it down into an actionable like how-to video, like step by step. Like after watching the
Mm.
video, you can end up doing something that actually helps
They can
them.
take something and go off and do it.
Yeah. So that's like the main pillar video. And then you have your supporting videos, which are the education. I can't be bothered. And then you have your social proof, which are results, right? So these are like the bottom pillars of your YouTube channel. You post mainly these, and then this is like,
I split it into four, right? So because I saw one of Max's videos and he did values one type of video, like just giving pure value, not related to your service. Then you've got education, which is still value based, but it's more educated towards your service. Then you've got your authority based, which is your separate YouTube channel showing your case studies and like full stories of your clients. And then back onto your main, you do like vlogs of like a day in the life of a 19-year-old millionaire, whatever, to build that authority.
Yeah. So basically,
That's
you
it.
have like the structured YouTube channel. So you also position your YouTube as a sort of landing page, right? Right now, Max is doing kind of the opposite. He's just posting a lot of videos, but in a sense, it's just education
What
content.
he's doing, by the way, because I've watched his videos, he did like he's giving like crazy value out, but you know, like how most people normally do like a 40 to 50 minute like video, like how Nick does. He might do a Miro one, or he might be doing a presentation in front of people and it's 40, 50 minutes long. What Max does is he compresses that down into like 10 minutes or maximum 15 minutes, but it seems so impressive. And there's such actionable steps, because I watched one of his videos and I think it was like 12, 13 minutes long, but he managed to break down like this whole funnel in that time, giving you specific things to do that you can then go off and do. And that was so impressive, because although it was so short, it kind of felt really long in a way when I was watching it, and I could actually go off and do something, which makes you want to book a call with Max.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why he's pumping content out faster.
Mm-hmm. So you get what I mean, right? Like they
Yeah.
land on your profile, they go to the YouTube, they get nurtured, which builds your authority status. That's where like most of the authority building comes in, because you prove yourself, you actually know what you're talking about. And then from here, they're problem aware, most importantly, and more likely than not, they're gonna be like pretty much buyer ready, right? So that's where you have like your caption, which either gets them to Calendly or your Insta, like to DM you on Instagram, which then funnels back here. Now, if they don't, hopefully they followed, which if they didn't, then probably not qualified enough anyway. But if they did follow, that's where you have your value content and your actual like sales type of content,
I
which
think
is like
that's
your
another
case
thing, by the
studies
way.
and results and everything like that.
I think that's another thing as well, by the way. Like with like say we did the magnet content, right, or connection content, and that brought in a lot of people. I think people will naturally get filtered out, qualified, unqualified, of whether they actually go to the YouTube channel and watch a video through and come back, like you said. And I think that is the natural filter, which means we could technically do as much connection or like magnet content as possible to bring in a lot of traffic, and it would automatically filter out, which is what I think like Sue is doing and people like that. Because if you create the right YouTube videos, that can filter out the right people, and they'll either book a call through YouTube, or it'll filter out the right people and bring those people back to Instagram, like you said. And those specific people you want to obviously keep on your Instagram in the best way.
Mm-hmm. So you get my point, right? Like the
Yeah.
connection content, you pump out a lot of this because that's what generates you the attention. And then the value content probably is gonna perform shit because it's boring and stuff. But in the sense that these videos bring in people, these videos will also help you kind of
It's
nurture
like those
those
returning
guys.
people back from YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. So it works as like a two-way like stop point for people on your profile, because this videos can either bring them to the YouTube or get them back in to nurture them even more, right? And then the sales part of the funnel, which is like your bottom of the funnel, is like your case studies, client transformations, results, stuff like that. And these,
Because you can have a separate
that's
page on Instagram as well for client results if you really need to.
yeah, but I feel like if you, having some of them on your profile helps out a lot, because when you have like your, for example, a case study or a testimonial, right? You can boost it as an ad. Like that's the one thing I've noticed. Like for
Mm.
example, Siggy, his pinned videos are client testimonials, and he runs them as ads every couple of weeks.
It's like killing two birds with one stone. It's because it's organic and it's paid. You wouldn't want that.
Exactly. Yeah. So you get what I mean. Like by structuring it this way, you get a lot of eyes here, potentially some eyes here, and
Hmm.
then both of these move people to the YouTube and back to kind of stay in the ecosystem, which is like the whole term we learned during the previous couple
Nick
of months,
saying
like building an
face.
Instagram, yeah, Instagram ecosystem and everything. And that's basically the whole ecosystem in itself,
But
because you
I
don't have
think
to
I
make it more
think
complicated.
zooming in on I think zooming on this is really interesting as well, though, because connection content, I could be wrong saying this, but we could almost phrase it like, or like these are okay. Right. You could almost phrase it like these are organic ads, right? So like these, because obviously you can't fully control organic, obviously, right? That's the only downside to it, really. But if you use certain hooks with certain topics of what you're going to speak about, then you can kind of, in a way, understand if that video is going to pop off or not. And what you can do, you can give value, you can do your YouTube, you can do all that. And if you say, okay, I need more traffic coming in now so I can filter out more qualified people, then just create another quote unquote organic ad and make sure it hits a wide audience to bring in a fuck ton of people. And then your value on your profile and your YouTube filter people out, basically, right? So they're almost like organic ads in a way.
I get what you mean with that, and just to add, like basically on what you're saying, I wouldn't run the connection content as ads because it doesn't really serve a purpose, if you get what I mean. Like there's no, in the connection content, you're not directing
Well, I'm not
people
saying to
anywhere,
run
or
it
you're
as
giving them.
ads.
No, yeah, like the organic ads. But another thing, these videos, like the value videos or the sales videos, if they perform well, which they're most likely not going to do, but in the case that they do, it's kind of an indicator that it's going to do well as an ad as well, because it means it's engaging, which then gives you the opportunity to run like these reverse profile ads, which are basically boosting content, not running an ad, but boosting existing content from your page to then reach even more new people.
I think
Which
value,
leads
especially,
to
you've got to be careful with what you do for value because, like you said, especially if it's Miro videos, even if the value is good, if it doesn't align with the audience, it'll just tank. It tanks from
yeah.
like 90% of people. So if you can get the right value right and it does well, then using it as an organic ad would obviously be good. Because you've understood how that value works. But that's what I was saying before with my 3 pillars, for example. I'm only going to give out value like once or twice a week that I dedicated videos towards it, because I can pick out the best bits of value I've understood over the whole week and put that in properly. And even if I've got a piece of value that's better than another piece of value, if the shittier piece of value resonates more with my audience than my better piece of value, I'm going to put in the shittier piece of value because it's still value and it's going to help my audience, which is who I want to attract, you know?
Exactly, yeah. I mean,
So you got to be
it makes a
careful what
lot,
you create for value.
yeah, it makes a lot more sense. I feel like now that we put it this way, because now the funnel, it's clear and it's purely organic focused with paid traffic as like an add-on, not an actual part of it. Because of course, for the connection content, you're not running it as ads, but you can run top of the funnel as like profile visit ads on top, like not for the connection content, but as an ad itself to get people to go on your profile and then get started in the funnel. You get what I mean?
For example, like with connection specifically, right? I still feel like there's 2 different types of connection. I feel like there's the connection with your audience and then there's a broader connection. Because with for example, I came across this guy who makes a fuck ton of money and he just does connection content. But what he does is he literally just does 2 types of connection content with no value, because he's selling a lower ticket, which means he doesn't have to give value unless it's on his YouTube. Okay, he's like a dream seller kind of thing. So what he does, he said, like, for example, one of his opening videos, that was a connection video, but it was more generalized. He started off by saying, I don't meditate, I don't wake up early in the morning, I just get the tasks I need to get done, that's in front of me. And it had like epic music in the background and it was dim lighting and everything. And that blew up and that brought in way more traffic into his organic. Now, if we flip that, because that was generalized, if we flip that and we do connection content, a bit like how Siggy does with that Tinder video, you could argue that's also connection content, right? Even though he's taking the piss. But that's
What it is connection content.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's more niche specific, because even when he talks about the sales stuff, the people, for example, let's say like a teenage drop shipper or something, right? They're not going to get what he means by that. so it's not going to bring in as much traffic. But there's the generalized mindset stuff of like, I'm not going to meditate or do this. It brings in more traffic, and you might think like, what's the point of bringing in a lot of traffic when we can just do just niche content to get the right traffic? But if that video performs better and gets more views and engagement because there's more people seeing it, you will increase your ideal people as well as your unideal people. The unideal people will just boost your engagement, like we said before. So I genuinely think there's two different types of connection content. I think there's the generalized connection and the niche specific connection. The niche specific connection is keeping people on your profile and connecting with your already existing audience to get the right niche specific people to understand you to convert properly. But I think generalized connection brings in a lot of traffic so you can filter out the right people. If that makes sense. And I think the generalized one is more top of the funnel than niche specific.
I mean, I get what you mean, but I think you're kind of like you have a bit of a misunderstanding because now you mentioned Siggy's video as a niche specific video when we earlier mentioned that it's like a what did you call it? A broad connection video or whatever.
A magnet connection video.
No, like when you said the two types of connection, you have niche specific and then
you have like generalized. You have generalized.
Yeah, generalized.
And
because Siggy's video was generalized. He was swiping on Tinder, right? Like there was nothing business about that. Like the text, even the text hook was just I guess girls as a 16-year-old millionaire, right? And but the reason it was still business related is because he was talking in business terms, right? Like he was mentioning sales, he was mentioning how he pitches them and everything like that, which then attracted the right people. And back to my point, that there doesn't have to be any type of general connection as long as you keep it business related. Like you can talk about absolutely anything, but as long as you
with your
keep
existing audience as well.
Hmm?
Will that connect with your existing audience as well?
Well, obviously, if people follow you for the type of content you make, and then you continue making that content, they're gonna stick around because that's what they followed you for. But if you then start switching up with doing like some, if you want to make your first $1,000 online, here's what you got to do. That switches it completely, and then these people might unfollow.
Well, I meant
That's
more
what happened with
mindset,
me.
but I get what you mean though. In a way, we're kind of compacting them both together. I think with how Siggy did it as well, he's kind of not just his hook, but his first half of the video, because he was just talking about Tinder, it brought in everyone. And then as he started talking about sales and business, that filtered the right people there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems to make sense now. It's just connection, value plus education, and then results, but we can't really do that yet. So just be value education. And if you stay consistent with posting, you could technically post 2 videos a day, one connection and one value plus education.
The plan. Because the thing with connection content, it's so simple to produce and batch record. Because I don't know if I told you, but I got ChatGPT to basically make build like this semi profile of like an ideal client, and then I got it to ask me like business related questions that this type of person would be interested in, right? So then it gave me like 10, 20 questions. I picked out 5 of them that seemed the most appealing and like interesting to talk about. And I sat down and I recorded it by saying like the actual question as the first line. Some of them didn't turn out too good because of course I was just purely talking from reading the question for the first time. But what I did is I just kind of chopped it for like a bit forward and back, like mixed matched clips, so it seemed like more interesting, like an actual like long form video that makes more sense. Now, did it perform well? I wouldn't say so. But
what I'm also thinking as well is like Sue, for example, his connection content, what he does before, because I've seen him do it, whether it's with AI or just his own thoughts or whatever, he would ask, okay, what's my audience's struggles? Most of all, what do they find funny or what do they resonate with? And he creates connection content around that. Like you said, connection content is very easy to make, but cutting up a load of connection content and then go, okay, I'm set for like the month. because I've created 1 hour long video and I've
No,
got
yeah,
uploads to connection.
obviously, yeah.
It needs to
But
be, but then if that's the case, then it's not just connection, it's strategic connection. Because like you said, when they go out to record, they will have a topic in mind. And I guarantee you that topic comes from the ideation of not just their like positioning in service, but like who it is they're trying to target, right? So even before you create the connection content, whether you're doing like a long sitting like this, for example, or whether you're specifically sitting down to create connection content because you need to, I think you have to do research before that. And then I think the 3-step process is like you do the research, then you look at not only what resonates with your audience, but what resonates with you, because you can't fake connection content. So it's got to resonate with you as well, if that makes sense. So I think that's the beauty of you and me targeting consultants, by the way, because we're also consultants. So we're going to have like similar problems to them. So I actually think we can miss out that step as well, because whatever problems consultants have that we're trying to target, we will also, in a way, either have had the problem before, gonna have the problem, or have the problem now. And when we read that out, we will actually resonate with it on an emotional level, and they'll feel that through the connection content. But it's not just generalized. It's not just like, you know, it's connecting with my audience. It's like, okay, it's connecting with the audience, but what audience specifically?
yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're on the same page with that. That's good.
Yeah, but I'd be careful with batch recording or like trying to have high
Everyone
volumes
batch
of it.
record us. Everyone batch
Yeah,
records.
but you've got to be
It's not about
careful
high
what
volume.
you do.
Yeah, but it's like spending an entire day producing content, so you don't have to record every single day and like
Yeah,
spend like 2-3 hours
repurposing
every single
basically.
day. Yeah, like you're delegating your time correctly. That's the whole
But you've got to make
principle.
sure when you're sat down to record that thing that you're going to cut up later on, that it's about a specific thing your audience, like your specific audience, will actually resonate with, and that you'll actually resonate with as well.